Okay, do you want to start by telling me your name?
Yeah, I'm Olympia Brown. I'm the Science Learning Manager at the Royal Institution.
And how long have you been at the Royal Institution?
I've been at the Royal Institution for about 13 years, quite a long time, but I have enjoyed every minute of it, honest.
And so what are the kind of things that you get up to in your job?
So my job consists of organising science events, trying to get people excited about science and thinking more deeply about it. So not just engaged by the initial excitement, but then wondering what happens next. How does that work? What happens if I change this next time? And kids of all ages, from really young kids, 3 and 4 year olds, right up to 18.
So what's your favourite age group to work with?
Probably primary school kids are my favourite to work with. They aren't afraid to show their excitement and emotion on their face. However, having said that, because teenagers are a bit harder to win over, when you have done it, it is a lot more satisfying.
And what would you say are some of the things that you've done with kids that do get those kind of like wow moments?
Well, I've had primary school kids saying wow when we've lit a match, so, you know, sometimes it can be a bit of an easy job. But we're lucky enough to have access to amazing resources like liquid nitrogen and a whole plethora of chemicals, so it's quite easy to put together some exciting things like elephant's toothpaste or making banana hammers. Probably things that I work on the Christmas lectures as well, which are televised science lectures for teenagers, and probably those, because you have the chance to go deeper into a subject and explore it in a bit more detail, we've had some really amazing moments on those as well.
And so do you go to the schools or do they come to you? Or
A bit of both. We go into schools and we do shows there. They also come to our lovely building in Mayfair. We produce science videos that get broadcast on YouTube and on our own video channel. And then we produce written resources and blog posts and that kind of thing. So we pretty much try anything we can.
And tell me a little bit about you as well. I can hear some television in the background.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I have 2 daughters, a 6-year-old who's at school today and a 4-year-old who's engrossed in CBeebies currently. And one of the video projects that we've just worked on has been involving my 2 kids, which has been really great, getting them excited about science as well.
Okay. And tell me about your background.
So I grew up in London and I did science at university, the history of science. I chose a science subject that had a bit more of a twist to it rather than just a traditional research science in the lab. I wanted something where you thought a bit more about science as well. So I really like learning more about the people that have worked in science and the stories that go with scientific discoveries. I don't know if you saw in the news yesterday, astronomers had this strange blip on their radar that was completely unexplained. They had no idea what caused it, and then 20 years later they've discovered that it was the microwave oven that was going off in the lab had given them this strange result. So it's little stories like that as well that I really love, that bring it alive and make it real.
Great. And you've done some bits of TV before, haven't you? Which
yes.
bits have you done?
So my first bit was I did some science experiments on This Morning. I've helped out behind the scenes at the One Show, and last year I appeared on Sunday Brunch doing some of our home science experiments, the kinds that I did with my daughters. I took them and did those with the presenters as well.
Fantastic. And just very, very quickly and just briefly, if you can remember some of the experiments that we might be doing on Monday.
Yeah. So we're thinking of starting quite simple with some little rockets that the kids will do. Then we will move on to elephant's toothpaste, which is a simple reaction between 2 chemicals that produces a very impressive foam plume. We might play around with some liquid nitrogen, throwing it into boiling water, making a banana hammer, having a nitrogen shower, and then possibly, hopefully our finale will be burning magnesium in a solid block of CO2, which turns into a giant light up ice cube
The nitrogen shower.
Yes.
Explain that to me.
So we have our Dewar flask of liquid nitrogen, and you put in some rubber tubing, the kind that you connect your Bunsen burner to the gas tap. Put it in, and it essentially siphons up out the top, and then sort of comes out in little droplets, essentially. We have to wear goggles, I've been reminded by my colleague. But yeah, because the liquid nitrogen, the temperature difference between the liquid nitrogen and the air is so great. Liquid nitrogen's at minus 190 degrees centigrade, and obviously air is about 20. So it vaporizes almost instantly. So by the time it hits you, it's in such small drops and nearly vaporized anyway that you just feel a very momentary drop of cold rather than, freezing.
That's fantastic. What's your favourite?
Of the ones that we're doing, probably actually the CO2 and the magnesium it's not one of the usual ones that gets trotted out, and it is beautiful. It's really, really lovely.
Brilliant.